NC State wrestling fans, it is March Madness. It is time for the postseason. A lot of Wolfpack action coming up, starting with this weekend, the 2026 ACC Championships, and a little bit different of a preview. Got 157-pounder Jackson Arrington joining us today. Jackson, you got some big shoes to fill. Pat's not going to be on his own podcast once again, so appreciate you stepping up here and helping us out with a little bit of a preview.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited. I love talking wrestling. So
I know, unfortunately, you'd rather be in action than having to watch this action, but you were kind of, you redshirted last year, so you got to see it from the stands. As a wrestler, what do you think of this tournament nationally here?
Yeah, the ACC is it's different than a lot of other conference tournaments because there is only like 7 guys in it. Mm-hmm. So it's only one day, so that takes out the 2-day weigh-in, mm-hmm. like some other tournaments, but it's condensed. So your first you'll have 2 or 3 matches, but they'll all be very good. You'll have good competition each match, and especially in the ACC, it's really growing and becoming more competitive. So the ACC is a fun tournament because one day, you're at usually a rival school. I think this year it's at Virginia Tech. Mm-hmm. So that'll be a good atmosphere. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. ACC got the most allocations of all time. 5 teams finished in the top 25. So it's going to be a great tournament. And, but before we get to that, got to talk about you individually here. Like I mentioned, unfortunately, you are not going this year. You got shut down, had surgery. Kind of how are things going right now for you?
Good. I had surgery in December. Obviously, that was not what I wanted, not what I saw this year, going as far as during the preseason and last year. But, you take what comes and you just roll with it. Recovery's going really well. My PT is going really well. My Cody and the specialists are saying I'm doing great. And, everything's coming along really well. I think I'm about 11 weeks out now. Yeah. So, I'm just itching to get back on it. I think this is the longest I've ever taken off the mat. So it is there for a little bit, it was starting to make me go a little bit crazy, but once I was able to start lifting legs and stuff and working with our strength coach, he's been really good as well. So, but no, everybody's been doing a great job of, keeping me in the loop, and, I'm always there around talking with the guys and helping guys out, lifting myself, working out. So, I haven't really slowed down much on the workouts. It's just different types of workouts. So, rather than doing, 2 practices a day, maybe I do cardio and like a strength session. So it's just a different kind of, I've never had to do this type of, recovery, this type of like pace before. So it's a little bit different, but it's going well.
We saw you started the season with the shoulder harness. Was there a moment that you heard it, or just kind of talk about how it all went down?
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of something that was bugging me for a little bit, and it happened before, and then gradually through the season, it was just kind of not getting better, getting worse. And it was always something that we were monitoring and just, seeing how it is, what works. And the brace was just really annoying to wrestle with. So after a while, I was just like, I can't wrestle with this thing anymore. Like, it was huge, bulky, really hot. Like, it's made out of that material, like almost like a wetsuit material. Yeah. So it just feels like it's like smothering you. So there was a point where like it was, I don't remember after what match it was, but I was just like, you guys got to get this thing off me. Like, I can't wear it anymore. So I think it was like we wrestled App State. And I told Cody, I was like, listen, like, I'm not wearing this thing. Like, I just can't wear it. It's killing me. Like, so yeah, it was just something we were monitoring for a while. Yeah. And then it just got to a point where it wasn't really sustainable long-term. And it was just better to get it fixed.
Okay. And I know recovery is a big thing for you. I don't know what the plan is yet, but do you think freestyle here at all this summer, or are you just kind of just focus on recovery?
Yeah, obviously I would love to wrestle freestyle. During my red shirt, I did a lot of freestyle with Jamil, Trent, and that was something that I really had a good time doing last year. I hope I can get into some, but I think right now the goal is just, next season. That's what I'm looking forward to right now, just trying to keep my head straight and take it one day at a time.
You going up to Virginia Tech for this weekend's ACCs?
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll be there. I wouldn't miss it. Miss it. Yeah.
Great segue there. But I know you got your brackets out. When you were competing, what type of guy were you? Did you like to look at your bracket, or did you not care and just went out there and wrestle?
So usually I'd have like a pretty decent idea because when I did it, Stanford wasn't. Last time I was there, Stanford wasn't in the ACC yet. So the 1 and the 2 seeds would get buys.
Yep.
So you would wrestle in the semis. So I'd usually have a good idea of who I was wrestling. It wasn't something I usually had to look at too much. I think that both the years I was there, I was the 2 seed and Henson was the 1 seed.
Yep.
And then my freshman year, I wrestled the Virginia guy in the semis, and then my sophomore year, I wrestled the UNC guy in the semis. But yeah, usually I'm not a huge bracket guy. Like I like to know roughly where I'm at, but I usually don't analyze anything too crazy. If anything, I look at the other brackets.
Yep.
More as like a fan of like wrestling and stuff. I'll just look at the other brackets to see what's going to go.
And this is kind of unique. Like you said, first and second used to get a bye. Now just the number 1 gets a bye. How tough was it? Because you went through it. You had to weigh in 2 hours before the start, but just because the semifinals were another 2 hours. So you kind of had 4 to 5 hours. How tough of a wait is that?
Yeah. Well, that's what's like special about the ACCs is, you get that bye, you have a lot of time after your weigh-in. So you can put more into your body than you would for a normal 2 hours, but it's also being able to manage how much you're going to put in. Because if you put too much in, then you're going to be really sluggish. So you almost want to treat it as if you're going to wrestle in that first round. Like, okay, I'm going to get myself ready, put some stuff in, refuel, feel good. Then maybe at that 2 hour mark, you move around, you get your warm up in, and you just start to feel good. But also, if you're a guy that has that first round and you get a match in before the guy you're wrestling, I feel like you're more prepared going into that match. So if you're the guy getting the bye, you got to make sure you get that hard warm up in, whether it's, you do a hard spar match, maybe you do a tiny bit of live just to get your heart rate up, do some sprints, just almost like simulate like you had that match, because the other guy will be coming in, pretty warmed up and pretty ready to go.
Trent Hiley took some pride and dubbed it the Breakfast Club.
Yeah. That was a big thing. If you were the 1 or the 2 seed, then you got a big breakfast at the the hotel, or they would get some sort of like pancake, eggs, potato breakfast. Yeah, I can't remember the exact name he called it, but yeah, it was the Breakfast Club. Yep.
NC State this year, 3 top seeds, so 3 guys will have a bye. We're going to start here 125. Vincent Robinson got the 3 seed, so he has the UVA kid. I think UVA kid's very athletic, just like Vinny.
Yeah.
They didn't face each other, so I mean that's going to be a huge matchup to start. And then if Vince wins, he has the 2 guys that he lost to, Provo, Ventresca. So this is a bit of a rough tournament for Vince here. He's really going to be challenged with these matches.
Yeah, exactly. But I think when you get to the national tournament, that's what it's going to be like too. You're going to be challenged. You're going to have guys that maybe you've lost to, or maybe you've had close matches with. So I think wrestle that now. He beats the Stanford guy. He beats Virginia Tech. That guy gives him a lot of confidence going into the national tournament. And he's a guy that was there last year, wrestled in close matches with guys that were high level, and was able to win in the last couple of seconds. Was able to win in ultimate rideout. So I think I think he's a competitor. So I think whenever the time comes for him to really step up and do something, he's a guy that's going to do it.
And I think when I asked you to do this, I was kind of thinking like you and Henson, kind of comparable to him and Ventresca, where you lost a couple to Henson, then you finally got that win. So what does Vince have to do to get over that hump and beat that rival that he hasn't had a chance to yet?
Right. And that's something I talked with him about briefly, was like, hey man, I've been here. Like, I know how this is. You wrestled him in the duel last year. You lost. You wrestled him at ACCs, you wrestled him in the duel this year. Like you just feel like you're just chipping away. It's getting closer and closer. Eventually it's just about just seizing that opportunity. You only get to wrestle him so many times. Like eventually it's like, okay, I got to take those risks. I got to shoot. I got to get in on his legs and take him down. I'm not going to be able to win if I don't get takedowns. So kind of pulling all that together into one match is hard, but it's like that's what it's going to take to beat like a guy that you never beat before. And then once you get over that hump, that's just a huge confidence boost.
133, I thought it was interesting. This weight only got 3 allocations, but 5 guys are ranked. Kind of want to ask you, Zach Redding for the Packs, the 3 seed. How was he coming in? He came in as a transfer. Sometimes it's hard to come into a new team, but how do you know Zach? How was he in the room this year?
Very good. So we had him and Brophy come in. And yeah, like talking with those guys, like it's something that we really haven't done a whole lot of, was having transfers in and wrestle, but these 2 guys have slid in very well. They're both really good teammates. They're both really good friends. And they have contributed a lot just overall to the team kind of culture and the way everybody interacts. So they've been doing really well. I mean, he came out Redding swinging in the summer, in practice, wrestling really hard. He's a hard worker, hard hand fighter. So yeah, he's everything that we wanted.
He has another tough matchup. That kid from UVA, another very athletic, kind of contrasting styles. They didn't face each other. This is kind of the first 3 matches. It's all Pack UVA guys. So Ryan's got one too up at 141, but that's going to be a great matchup. And then he has 2 guys that he could see that he fell to. So kind of same situation as Vince. And like I said, very important because that weight only has 3 allocations.
Yep. Yeah. Sometimes that's just the way the brackets work out with the way that RPI works. Like you need a certain amount of matches, you need a certain amount of wins, win percentage, like all that stuff plays into allocating those spots. That's why it's really important during the season to make sure everybody's locked in and, showing I'm making weight wrestling. But yeah, 33, we had 2 guys. So kind of during the year, we're bouncing back and forth, figuring stuff out. And I believe we wrestled Troy against the UVA guy. So Redding hasn't faced him yet, but I think stylistically, Redding's a really hard guy to take down. You get to his legs, and it's very hard to finish on him. He's a great scrambler. So I like how he looks here.
Ryan Jack up at 141. You spent a lot of time with him last year because you guys were in the same boat, red shirt. He's got the 3 seed. Those 3 guys at the top, they all beat each other. So this is a very wide open weight. But Ryan Jack's last year, he's a former ACC champion, just like yourself from 2 years ago, took last year off. But how hard do you think it is to repeat in this conference?
Yeah, he's at a weight too that has some new guys in it that he hasn't wrestled before. First round, he's got a guy that beat him in the duel. So I think that's a good one for him to, get back. That gives you momentum moving forward. So you're going to have to wrestle guys that have beaten you. Like I said with Vince, you're going to have to beat guys that have beaten you this year. That's just how it's going to be. Same thing with RJ. You're going to have to beat guys that beat you. This is the ACC tournament. This is for yourself. You're wrestling for your school ultimately, but you're wrestling for yourself as well. This postseason it cumulatively is for the team, but individually you get to accomplish what you want. And I think RJ is very hungry. This is his last year. He wants to do great things. He wants to compete well. So I really like the way he's going into this ACC tournament mentally.
149, someone that we've just seen kind of really shoot up the rankings here this year, Coy Biskins, coming off a great win there against Cornell to close it out. A lot of momentum. Again, top 3. They all kind of beat each other up a little bit this year. Coy comes in as the 1 seed, so he does have that bye. But just talk about the progression of Coy's career that you've seen here over not even this past season, but even the summer leading up to this year.
Yeah, I mean, he is a guy that I'd kind of known a little bit when he was in high school. He had wrestled some of my friends in high school, and he would win. He was just a guy that would go out and just crush people in high school. So I think coming into college, it was about, finding that, developing. And, last year, I don't think he got the result that he wanted. And I think over this summer, he really just locked in. He focused. He got better what he needed to. He gained his confidence. He works hard. He's just the full package, wrestling wise. I mean, you've seen some of the crazy things he does to get out of takedowns. I've never seen a guy could have double up in the air, hands locked, and Coy will find a way to get out of it. He's just a guy that wrestles through. He wrestles hard. He really just has it all. So I'm super excited for him this year. Like I can't say enough how excited I am for him going into this postseason. I think he's going to do great.
Have you been able to take him down in practice?
When I was back, yeah, right. I was the only guy that was going to take him down. Yep, I'll say that.
Okay, good. Good to know.
But he's an athlete.
Yep.
And again, like he could wrestle either the Stanford guy or the Virginia Tech guy.
Yeah.
This weekend. So I'd like to see both those matches. I think Coy, he beat up the Stanford guy, and then he dropped one to the Virginia Tech guy. But I think that's a match that if Coy gets back again, I think he gets by it pretty good. I think he's going to do well.
157 your weight, of course, so you always have an eye on this, but I don't think you faced any of these guys. So it's kind of a weird weight class here. Someone we haven't talked about too much, filling in for you, Luca Felix, redshirt freshman, Morgantown, West Virginia. We know he's taken some losses this year, but I think he competes. I mean, he's always out there competing in those matches. Just how tough was his situation to come into the lineup here?
Yeah, that is a tough situation because he's a guy that he is a competitor. He wrestles hard. Like he's not going to go out and he's going to give 100% effort every time. He's a guy that's going to wrestle really hard. He was behind me, and then after my situation, and then Daniel Zepeda gets hurt as well, and the coaches are like, all right, somebody needs to step up, and he was the guy that was there and was like, I'm here. Like, what are you guys going to do? I'm here. Like, I want the spot. That's me. So he's been doing a great job developing and, just stepping up to that spot because he is in a tough spot, having to fill in. So, but he's wrestling like he's not a fill-in. Like he's wrestling like he is the guy. So that's what we want to see. And I think he's gonna do well. He's got the first one against Dylan Evans. I think he's gonna get that one back, and we'll go from there. I think he's looking good.
Little undersized too. I don't know if he's a true 157.
Right, and that's another thing. It's like, all right, man, like we know like you might be a 49, like if you wanted to be. So like what are you gonna do? And that's what he's lifting hard, he works hard. I think, under the right circumstances, he's a guy that's gonna do really well, in the future.
165, true freshman Will Denny went undefeated, has the top seed. I thought it was great. I had Will on the podcast earlier. He said you beat the living crap out of him for a long time over the summer. But he's like, I needed that when I came to college. I needed to be humbled and get that. And he really thanked you a lot for the effort, but maybe not at the time, I'm sure.
Of course. Yeah.
But talk about what you've seen from him. I mean, he's really been someone, we knew he was going to be good when he's coming in, but maybe not as a true freshman.
Yeah, I compare and I talked with him a lot. We were kind of in similar situations, like coming into NC State. I came in my freshman year and Tariq Wilson had just graduated, and it was like 49's kind of an open spot. Like, we want you to be the guy. Like, I work hard and like, you're going to be the guy. And I think you could do really well. And he was in a similar situation. Derek Fields graduates last year. 65 is a spot where it's like, and it's up for grabs. Who's going to step up and do it. And he was a guy that competed really hard in high school, and he just kept building and building and building. And then this summer, like I said, I wrestled with him a lot. And before he got to college, I would wrestle with him a little bit, but just his progression that he's gradually kind of put on through to now is just been incredible. He's just been jumping levels week by week. And I'm super excited for him. He's a guy, he competes hard, he wrestles hard, he works hard, he does everything right. So he's the staple of kind of NC State and the culture that we have here.
How tough do you think it is if you're the number one seed, undefeated, everybody's gunning for you? Yeah,
like you have that target on your back. But the thing for Will is he's also a true freshman. He's out to, show people who he is. He's out there going, okay, yeah, I am the number one seed, but I'm going to go out and wrestle like I'm not. Like, I'm going to wrestle like I'm hunting. I'm still hunting for everybody. So he's out to prove something. So
I think that one's a little interesting. Virginia Tech made a change late. The Stanford kid bumped up about 2 weight classes. So 165, it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out.
Yeah. They were wrestling Burton, and then they went with Mac Church, who wrestled last year. He was a national qualifier last year, I believe, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't think Will did not wrestle him this year.
No.
He wrestled Burton twice, I think, at national duels and the dual meet, and they were 1-1 with each other. And I think they're redshirting Burton.
Yep.
So they're gonna go with Church, but yeah. I really like Will Denny where he's at, and I think he's gonna do really well.
One person from your recruiting class, Maddie Singleton at 174. Another weight, it only got 3 allocations, and there's 5 guys ranked, so it's going to be competitive. He really turned it on March last year, won the ACC title, went on All-American. We've seen him perform all year. What do you think of Maddie going into the postseason this year?
Yeah, kind of similar to Vince. Maddie's a competitor. Last year, I think we saw him take some losses earlier in the year. He lost to Luke Augustine last year in the season and ended up beating him at the ACCs. And that's kind of this year he lost to Luca again in the dual meet. And I think if history repeats itself, I think he's going to beat him again in the ACCs because that's just how Maddie is. He's a competitor. You know, when he needs to step up and get it done, that's what he does. And I think that we have a lot of guys like that. Vince being another one, Coy being another one, Will. Like those are guys that are competitors. When they compete, they're going to compete hard and they're going to give it everything. So, yeah. And then he didn't wrestle the Duke kid.
No,
I believe during the dual meet.
Yep.
So that'll be a good semis. I think Maddie's looking really good in the room. He has a lot of confidence. So I'm excited for him.
184, Don Cates, final year, came back to the program after 2 years away. Really has filled a need there for 184 for you guys. But kind of when he came back, what did you guys think? It's like this guy was away for the program for 2 years. How's he going to hold up? How's he going to contribute? As the season went on, what did you see from Cates here?
Yeah, you know, Don was here my freshman year, and he left after my freshman year, and he was gone my sophomore, junior year. And this year, 184, it's like, hey, man, we kind of got a hole here. Like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm there. I'll do it. So he comes back happy. He's happy to be here. And that's the thing that I really like about Don is he's there. He's here for the team as well. You know, it's like he's here for himself, but he's also doing it for the team. You know, we're all friends with Don. I've known Don for a while since I got here. He's a great guy. Everybody, I mean, you see that at the Cornell duel as well. It's like, Don, we need you to lock in here. Like, you can't give up a certain amount of points or else the team loses. And once they do, he gets the job done, and he able to save the duel for us. And that's just the kind of guy Don is. He's a team player. He's a guy that, you know, if you ask something for him, he's going to do it. So, but yeah, I've been really happy with him coming back. I think for taking that much time off and being thrust right back into Division I wrestling is just incredible. I don't think there's a lot of people that can do that.
I think he's happy at 84. He was not happy at 65. So I think that
that's
contributed.
That's another thing too. It's like, yeah, he's not making 165 still. Yeah, I'm sure that makes him happy.
Up to 187, you kind of mentioned him. Brophy is going to be competing at the ACCs for the first time. There's 3 guys ranked 11th or better. They got the 3 allocations. Brophy's right on that next line. That's a very tough weight there. But he also joined you guys kind of mid-season. I mean, we're just seeing some unique circumstances this year. But can you talk about what he's kind of gone through he trained with you guys a little bit in the fall semester, but was not able to compete. What do you think it took for him to be here at NC State now competing after missing the first semester?
Yeah, he's in especially a tough spot because he's coming from somewhere where he wasn't able to train like that. He wasn't able to be in a college room consistently and be here every day. Like, he would come and train with us sometimes, but I mean, that was just the fact of his situation was just like he wasn't able to be here the whole time. But then he gets here and he's like the new guy on the team as well, you know, but he's a guy that, like Redding, that came and fit right in. You know, he's a great guy. Brophy's great, funny, and he really kind of slid right into that 197 spot that we needed. He's been wrestling hard. I think when he got here, I think he kind of took like a bump or two through like that first couple weeks he was here, but I think he's really kind of bounced back, just like realizing that, hey man, we brought you here for a reason. We didn't bring you here to start throwing out crazy moves and like doing stuff you've never done before. Like, we want the Patrick Brophy that we watched 2 years ago, a year ago. Like, that's the Brophy that we want. So do what you do, and we're going to be here. We'll help you. We'll steer you in the right direction. And I think ever since then, he's been doing a great job. A guy wrestles hard. Yep. You know, he's a great gas tank. He wrestles hard. I mean, if you watch his opponents when they wrestle him in the second period, they're gassed. They're tired every time he wrestles. So But yeah, he's been great.
You were one of the guys he thanked for always staying in the room afterwards and just kind of showing some basics, because the kid didn't start wrestling until he was in high school. So he's very appreciative of you guys staying late and kind of showing them a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing, is like the jumps he's made since then is crazy. Like most guys that are in Division I wrestling start wrestling when they're like toddlers and they're like children. But like there's some guys out there that are able to, they start later and they're able to get to this point. It's impressive.
Last weight, heavyweight, Isaac Trumbull, all us Wolfpack fans, we're all hoping that he doesn't come out with another big knee brace like he did last year. So,
yeah.
But you know, he went undefeated. There's some decent guys up at heavyweight, but he kind of he's in that tier above, I believe. What kind of motivation it is for you guys to go out when he's out there watching him get bonus points and helping this team, and how important is he in this lineup?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it multiple times this year where the match comes down at heavyweight and it's like, Isaac, we need you, man. We need bonus here. We need a pin here. We need you to win this match. And he steps up time and time again. And I think that's just speaks a lot about Isaac. He's a competitor. He's a guy that's going to go out. He's going to get the job done consistently. He wrestles hard. He wasn't able to wrestle the first little bit of the season and came back, hasn't skipped a beat. He's been wrestling hard ever since. Beat the Pitt guy. He beat UVA. He's beat all these guys. And yeah, he's right there. And I think he's a serious national title contender, as with some of our other guys as well.
He's everybody's favorite for his celebration afterwards, but what kind of teammate is he, or how's he in the room?
He's a great guy. Isaac, he's a guy, if you ask anything of him, he's going to help you. Great teammate, motivator. He does care about this team, and he wants everybody to do well. He's a guy that's at practice trying to help different guys. And so, yeah, he's a great teammate.
This was a cool breakdown. You gave a different perspective. I appreciate it
good.
And all that. But good. I had to ask you before we get you out of here, prediction, what team this year will win the ACC Championship?
Us. I believe NC State's going to win it, of course. I would not, even if I didn't think so, I would say it anyway. But I truly believe we have a special team this year. We have a lot of guys that are serious national title contenders. I think this is a year where guys have really broken out, some guys, and really separated themselves above other years. And I think this is a great year for us. A lot of guys have huge opportunities. So I'm super excited about it.
So we're recording this on a Wednesday. The championships are on Sunday. Kind of walk us through, maybe not day by day, but how is this team preparing? What is going on these final few days before the ACCs?
Yeah, right now, guys are, keeping their weight in check, making sure they're recovered. They're hitting recovery centers hard. Just kind of fine tuning last few things. Your technique is set for the season. At this point, you could fix a little bit of things and fine tune some different positions, but right now, everybody's just getting themselves in the right headspace, whether, that's getting a little bit more recovery in, or maybe it's getting some extra practices in, but everybody's just kind of getting themselves ready for the end of the season and just trying to put them, because everybody has a different path and everybody has a different track on what they need to do in order to feel like they're ready. So one guy might need to get an extra practice in. One guy might need to do some more cardio. One guy might need to take the day off, and just recover. So the coaches do a good job of managing that, and the guys do a good job of managing themselves too. So, yeah, the next few days will just be about keeping your weight in check and just getting yourself ready mentally.
I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I know you're excited for it. Sadly, like I said, it sucks that you have to watch it from the stands, but we know you'll be back in a couple years, and this team's going to be fun to watch here in the postseason. They got ACCs, got NCAAs, got a lot of guys that can really finish up high here coming up soon.
I agree.
So, Jackson, thanks for joining us. This was another episode of the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast covering NC State wrestling. Until next time, go Wolfpack.